it started just really accelerating our growth. It took our meditations and sent them through the roof, and we're just connecting with each other, and we've been getting really conscious about that. So on our honeymoon lane, he's like, you know what, this is amazing. We should share this with people.
I think I must have had too much coffee at the time.
Welcome to the Awakened Couple podcast. I'm Steph.
And I'm Lane. Here we explore how relationship becomes a mirror for awakening.
A path to deeper truth and real growth.
Today, we're exploring awakening and the spiritual path.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so if any of this conversation resonates with you, hit subscribe, share it with someone on the path. We would love to meet more of you.
So what is awakening and what is the spiritual path?
Great way to start the conversation. So I think I've heard a lot of other people define awakening as that first spark, that first moment where you have this experience where you suddenly, you just know, you realize completely within you that, oh, there is way more than what we were taught to believe.
Right. Way more than this 3D reality.
Mm-hmm.
There really is a spirit beyond this.
Yeah.
And we've both experienced that ourselves on multiple occasions.
Yeah. It's not enlightenment. That's a little ways down.
Yeah. Let's aim for the near goal here.
Yeah. And we've talked about how awakening is kind of a process. It's not just, oh, now I'm awakened, because you fall right back to sleep again,
It is possible to have an aha moment that completely penetrates down deep, but...
Yeah, Eckhart Tolle, right? Yeah.
Right. In my case, it was a stepped experience where I experienced spirit in a number of different ways, and each time my belief system just became more and more holistic, that yes, there really is much beyond this 3D reality.
I think I always knew there was more. My grandfather used to have conversations with me as a young person about what would happen after he died and how he would come and visit us. And he said, you always know that I'm here if you think of me. And I thought that was really nice.
Yeah.
And then when my grandma actually passed, she really did come see me. I mean, it was like, oh, okay, wow. But having those experiences where I touched my own soul, that part of me, and became just almost one with everything, that came quite a bit later.
I think that would turn me towards that as well.
Yeah.
I had an experience where I was deep into meditation, and I had always had a lot of questions about God and how God worked and why things are the way they are. I was in a really serene place in meditation. It was very quiet, and all of a sudden, within my head, I heard a voice say, "All is as it should be." Now, I had other awakening experiences before that, but that was the clincher. It was so amazing that it pulled me right out of meditation. And I tried to
ironic, isn't it?
I tried to get back in meditation and continue the conversation, but that was it. And that answered every question that I ever had about God.
And everything else. Yeah, life.
Yeah.
I think the first time you told me that, I was like, really? You just heard the voice in your head? Because I never hear voices. I see things in my mind. I feel things in my body. But I never would hear things until probably just a few months ago that I had something answer a question like that was so startling. It was like, oh, that definitely was not me. Because I'm not a real auditory person in general. And I think this is the fun thing. A lot of people think they're going to see stuff, but everybody has their own way of experiencing the world that is more them. And I'm just very physical and visual. But like we have a friend who is a musician, and so she's very auditory. And
Right. I think spirit sort of customizes the experience for each of us based on who we are.
yeah,
And everybody being individual, they'll have their own unique experiences and their own unique path. So, don't try to copy what someone else has done. Don't try to do what someone else has done, because your spirit is infinite intelligence and can come up with a million or a billion different ways to provide you with awakening experiences and the path that you're on.
And one thing that I love is reading other people's stories of awakening, which is why we, on the website, we're making the blog a place for people to share their awakening stories, because there is such a huge variety of things that help you wake up and realize who and what you really are. And there's a lot of experiences I've had that I totally discounted until I heard someone else say it, and I was like, oh, I've experienced that. You mean that's what was going on there?
Yeah.
Like, oh.
I love other people's real life experiences.
Yeah.
They inspire me.
Yeah, for sure. So let's see, what else are we talking about? Why? Why the heck would someone want to wake up? Because, this reality is so great. There's all this pain and suffering and misery and abuse and drama and war and shall I go on?
I can only speak for myself and maybe a few others that I've had conversations with. But in my case, I'd always had this gnawing thing in me that there's something more to life, and you sort of match that with the saying that I've heard the kingdom of heaven is within, but the kingdom of heaven is vast. There's not just angels. I wanted to know. I wanted to try to experience what that meant personally.
I kind of suspect that it's actually an inherent part of being human to find our way out of this sense of being separate and alone and lost. Like, I think we all kind of have this inherent need to find our way back to oneness, to God, that's why we want to be with each other. It's why we're so attracted to religion, just how do I get out of this separateness? Like, that's kind of what this experience is about.
I think a lot of the suffering that people experience, certainly not all, but a lot of that is the disconnect from spirit or from God or your higher self.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe a lot of suffering could be eliminated if we just turned over a lot more of our life to being guided by our higher self.
It does seem to eliminate it. Sometimes it eliminates it, and sometimes it just makes it kind of irrelevant. I'm like, yeah, I have a miserable headache today, but wow, sometimes I'm just so blown away by here and the other side and experiencing both of them at the same time, that the fact that my body is going through something it just becomes, it's like I'm not so focused on that. It's just not a big deal anymore. And through that, I stop focusing on it, and so it actually can relax and kind of get better. It's kind of cool, actually.
The human body is amazing.
The irony that you have to be okay with something in order for it to shift,
Right. Yeah. Let me add one more thing about the why. Is what I've experienced in my own life is that using my higher self as a guide has made my life a lot easier. And at times I would describe it as being in the flow. So That's an amazing feeling. I highly recommend it to anyone. So,
Yeah.
okay.
I think a lot of people know what flow feels like because we'll drop into it on accident sometimes. And that, I think that's what it is, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Is being connected with your soul or your higher self and your purpose. Like it's you've joined and you're working together. It's a very different feeling.
I think the way it's come to me is I get so involved with what I'm doing, whether it's at work or a hobby or listening to music, and I become so present that whether I'm moving, doing physical work or not, you can feel the flow.
Yeah.
All right.
How? Yeah, how? So there's this list, honestly, came from a Google search.
Mm-hmm.
I asked Google, okay, what are all the different ways that different religions talk about the awakening process happening? And I got 3 things back. So we have our 4th, of course, which is awakened couple. But the first one is intentional practice. I mean, this is obviously meditating and like all that meditation work you'd been doing to finally connect and get all is as it should be, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There's also not just sitting in meditation, but there's also what I call waking meditation, where you're actually moving around.
Like mindfulness, kind of?
Yes, exactly.
Being present with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or watching your thoughts or, your emotions and trying to, and when old stuff comes out, getting kind of intentional about letting that stuff flow through and shift and change.
Yeah, being aware.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so an intentional practice is one way. Some people, okay, a lot of us, me, get shoved into something that's like, you lose everything. I mean, I guess the worst case version of that is near-death experience, right? People often come back from those completely
transformed.
Yes, like they've seen Jesus or they've met their soul group or, just something that it's like they get it. They're like, oh, this is how it really is. Yeah, okay, I'm changing everything in my life. But even, I mean, when I got divorced and I lost my job and I moved out of the town that I was going to. And then I
when
just
it
kind
rains,
of,
it pours.
Yeah, well, and I moved to Western Washington where it was pretty much pouring all the time.
Yeah.
And I sat in a yurt and I cried for about a year. But yeah, it was so worth it because, well, then that's how I met you too. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, for me, and I have had, I think, multiple dark nights, or certainly very, very low points.
You had
It's sort of an initiation, because when you hit rock bottom and there's no one there to rescue you, I tended to go within. And that's where I found solace, peace, and answers and guidance.
Do you want to tell the story of feeling your soul when you were in Oklahoma?
It's really hard to put the experience in words. It was a very difficult time in my life, and my family was splitting up, and I found myself alone. I had just flown back home, walked into a house that was empty, and I would tell you, I felt the depth of my soul, and it was amazing on the one hand that I could feel that deep within myself. On the other hand, I was in misery, and that dichotomy was very interesting to experience. So
I don't think you were thinking how interesting it was at the time, but
I was kind of amazed at the time, but yeah, not the entire time. I was.
When you first told me that, you told me how your soul basically let you know that you had made a mistake.
Yes, I veered off my path, and Sometimes you need to get hit over the head with a 2x4 or a brick. And in this case, it was, I don't know, it was neither, but the point was well made. I knew in that moment that I needed to get back with my family, and that's exactly what I did. It just so happens that a couple days later, Spirit, higher self, made it very easy for me to make that decision because I got laid off from my job. So that clinched the deal for sure.
I've heard how your soul can kind of, if you veer off your path too much, it'll just come and be like, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how Spirit works. Don't be afraid of Spirit. You don't have to go through that, but we'll get more into that in a little while.
The third one that Google gave me was using nature as kind of the initiator. So, because nature is, I'm sure many people have been out standing on a mountaintop looking out and just be in such awe, and you feel so small and at the same time so part of everything. It's a profound experience.
Tell about your experience.
Yeah. Okay. So one time, I mean, this is kind of a combo, I guess. I was sitting in my backyard. I mean, I'm in Salt Lake City. It's not like it was super naturey, but I was meditating and I was just trying to connect with the mountains and with the Great Salt Lake and all of the land around and the sky and the cloud, a few little puffy clouds going by. And I'm just having this fabulous meditation. And I think my alarm must have gone off that said it was time to go in and get ready and get food and everything. So I had to go to work. And I go in and I close the door, and I mean, I'm hearing all these birds and everything. And it was summer, so the window was open. But the door made no sound. And I pull out a frying pan and I put it on the stove, and I could hear the food kind of sizzling in the pan. And my husband at the time, he's sitting there and he's talking to me. And his lips are moving, and I can see that he's talking to me, but I don't hear a single word he's saying. I can hear the birds outside chirping, but not him. And I was just so one with the mountains and the lake I was just one with nature. But I couldn't hear all of the normal, life, modern life type sounds. And it took about 15 minutes to go away. It was kind of one of those moments where I was like, wow, this could get a little weird if it doesn't. But anyway, it went away. And it's just one of those things that has stayed with me forever. Really, really profound. It's like, oh, wow, this earth she's alive.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. And then we have ours, which Google didn't come up with. I thought that was kind of cool. So,
okay.
Yeah. So Lane and I, when we first got together, we have just a really deep level of trust, and it just keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And we keep pulling out more of what's going on inside of us and clearing things out intentionally, doing that intentional work. Yeah. We love being in nature. That was part of hiking, was how we got together and got to know each other.
That can help as well.
And both having, some life shifts at the time. But we started noticing how it started just really accelerating our growth. It took our meditations and sent them through the roof, and we're just connecting with each other. And as we clear things, and we're reflecting what we're clearing to each other, and we've been getting really conscious about that. And that was after a while. I mean, so on our honeymoon, he's like, you know what? This is amazing. We should share this with people. And that's pretty much when it happened. It was, I know you keep trying to give me credit.
I must have had too much coffee at the
time. It sounded so easy. And we're like, wow, this is a lot of work.
Well, I don't know what it is about people that want to help others for no apparent reason, but at the time I was feeling like I this has had such a profound effect on our relationship that I just
Profound
thought that
effect on us individually.
sharing it. And we did a search, and there was not much out there that that covered this particular angle at awakening through reflection,
I actually,
particularly reflection of a partner, someone that you can trust deeply.
I actually put it in my wedding vows that it was just so amazing to me that I was learning how to like myself more. I like who I'm becoming with you because I'm clearing out so much old crap that I don't need anymore, and finding out who I really am through that reflection with you. It's really profound. Yeah.
It had been, when we were first getting together, it had been many, many years that I had someone to reflect back to me who I was being. And frankly, just having an objective point of view as to who I was being was valuable. I was on a journey of clearing myself as well.
I would actually say that every interaction with every person, your whole life, even with your own body, it's all a reflection.
Mm-hmm.
What's different here is you and I are learning to get clearer about that, and
Intentional.
really intentional. Yeah, and so when I recognize that you're going through something, or you recognize that I'm going through something, we're getting better at holding space for that, not trying to fix something, but know that, okay, this is I'm having some growth here, or you're having some growth here. Okay, I need to just make space for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think how that's handled is extremely important.
Yeah.
Because initially, I think I was reluctant to ask for help.
That we're all trained to do that, not to
Yeah,
ask for
I can power through this. I can clear whatever this is. But it was work with Stephanie that she would cause me to go deeper into whatever it was, a belief system or attitude, through layer upon layer that has been heaped on these seeds of belief or attitude over a long life, and get down to the core. And that's invaluable. Otherwise, you just end up rebuilding a belief system or attitude if you don't get at the core, pull it out by the roots.
Yeah, and I think you finally helped me spot that I have this deep-seated belief that I'm not worthy of love unless I do everything that everybody else wants me to do all the time. And yeah, so learning how to, like you say, pull that out by the root. I mean, that's a whole process, but yeah, it's been amazing.
It helps in a way. So from the beginning of our relationship, I always saw Steph as whole. I saw her as independent, and a whole host of other neat sounding traits.
Which I did not see in
And
myself.
I was actually shocked that she did not see herself in that way.
No, I saw myself as broken and not good, not enough to love. And I mean, I could go on and on, but yeah.
And this is part of the human experience, right?
Yeah.
We take on these belief systems and so forth for the sake of exploring what they mean. But after a while, they no longer serve us.
No, they're reinforcing the isolation that we feel instead of helping us find connection and connection with each other, connection with our own soul and higher self. Yeah.
Life is really about, in many respects, about experimenting and exploring.
Mm-hmm. One thing about that, I mean, that reflection is, I think it's true in every situation, but with us working together, and learning more skills and starting to understand what's happening more and more and more, and it's like exponentially, it's like this, mirrors. We're both mirroring each other, but we're doing it so intentionally now that it's just like, it's kind of.
We've gotten to where we can move through it fairly fast and process it.
Yeah.
And there are many different kinds of reflections.
Yeah. Yep. Which we will get into, but not in this podcast, because I think we're probably running out of time now.
Yeah. Okay.
But we are definitely going to get into that, because
that is our main thing.
That is what we are, Awakened Couple. It's about awakening yourself, using an intentional relationship as the spiritual path to awakening yourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very efficient and
messy.
This is
and awesome.
This is it took me a while to actually wrap my head around that everything in our life reflects who we are. But once I got it, I understood that this is a major way that spirit or higher self communicates with us. So it's designed perfectly.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get to tell everybody more about how to do this intentionally, because it is freaking cool.
Yeah, we've got so many stories and
Yep.
All right.
Awesome. Well, all right. So if some of this sounded good, you can head on over to awakenedcouple.com, which will be going live in June. So we're getting pretty excited about this.
Oh, very excited.
Where we're going to have a membership, and so that other partners, and it doesn't have to be, we're romantic partners, obviously, but friends who are really close and trust one another, family members, people, and it doesn't have to be just two people. It can be, a three or whatever. Is in your group.
Underlying trust.
Yes.
And also someone kind of at the same vibe that you're at.
We're not going to be on the same levels all the time.
Right.
You and I are, changing things all the time. And
Yep.
But yeah, it's more about a willingness, to look at yourself.
Yeah, it can be tough sometimes, but
I don't always like what I see. But.
And a desire to evolve.
Yep, and awaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, and head towards down that path towards enlightenment eventually.
So thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to go a little deeper into this, like Steph said,
join us in June on awakenedcouple.com.
Yeah. All right. Bye, guys.
See you next time.